question?
Yeah, actually, go.
Hi, my name is Mitzi. I went to Leadership Public Schools in Richmond.
What year?
I was class of 2012. God, it's been such a long time. And I recently graduated from UC Berkeley, class of 2016. And what am I missing from that question? I grew up in Richmond. I lived there all my life, and I recently came back to the community. Not living with parents, but close to. And I really love my community. That's why I decided to come back. So question number 3, describe your experience. AP Calculus was definitely a lot more rigorous than other classes at LPS.
And just to clarify, LPS is the high school we were at.
Yes.
Okay.
That's what we call it. But yeah, I felt like I was definitely pushed a lot harder by Mr. Roosevelt. And in comparison to other classes, there was a lot more college readiness material that went into it. For example, I felt like my AP kind of English, I don't even remember if it was language or literature, but in those courses I felt like it wasn't up to par, and we didn't even end up taking the AP exams for that course because we weren't ready. The same thing happened with a push or history, whatever you want to call it. And what I found really kind of inspiring about AP Calculus was that it felt like you were getting ready for college. And once I hit college, I kind of like saw that a lot more. The material and also kind of like the structure of the class, I felt like Mr. Roosevelt did a really good job of kind of tying in those ideas and like the self-will that you need in order to kind of succeed in college.
Can you talk a little bit about that? What are these college readiness skills? Those are kind of hard to quantify, Mitzi, but in your opinion, like, what are those skills? Like, what makes someone successful versus not, right?
You have to be able to kind of study in a group, number one. You have to be determined to kind of like fulfill whatever your needs are in such a class. But also, you have to learn your study styles. And that's something I kind of struggled with my first and second years of college. This is why I mentioned the study group, because I would study by myself and I thought that was like the best method. And it was for high school, but once I hit college, that was a completely different story. For example, like media studies was my major, and one of the core classes I wasn't doing so well in. And it wasn't until I kind of was like, okay, I need to figure out a different way of kind of studying and kind of learning the material. And that's when I got with a group of students who were also in the class, and we studied together, and they provided ideas about the course that I didn't really consider, and going back and forth, and I did the same for them, so we both helped each other do better, if that makes any sense. Am I missing anything in that?
No, I think that's good.
Why was calculus important for me?
And just to clarify, Mitzi, so you graduated with, you said a communications degree from Berkeley?
Yes.
And you're a journalist now, true?
Yes.
Okay, so
freelance reporter, photographer, videographer, yeah.
So you took calculus. It's not like you're doing calculus in your job, right?
No.
So why was it? So was that an important class? and or why should people care about taking calculus?
I feel like it was really important for me. Well, back in high school, I really wanted to pursue mathematics as like a minor, going into college, and I did really well in the class. But I feel like even if you don't want to pursue a mathematics degree or anything related to that, it's still really important because you kind of get that same kind of experience that you will get in college, and it kind of prepared me for what was coming, because yes, calculus was hard once I took it, and I feel like I kind of needed that. Okay, let me explain. So once I entered Berkeley, I took a stats class in my first semester, and it's a lot different from calculus, but I didn't do so hot because it was kind of like it's things that I mentioned before. Like, I didn't know how to study. I couldn't really grasp the concepts as well as I did in high school, and it was like a step up. And I felt like it was really important to have that experience of AP Calc in order to kind of, I didn't do amazing, but I didn't do terrible either. So I felt like it really helped me kind of figure out what I needed to do in order to kind of pursue whatever I wanted to in college. I don't know if that makes any sense. Does it? Kind of?
Sure.
How do I explain that better?
No, that's fine. And so, like, so let's